Okay, today let's talk about traditional marketing versus relationship marketing. First, let's go with the beginners, right? Traditional marketing is probably where you're used to the most. Okay. With this, the traditional sales cycle looks something like this. A new lead comes in, you qualify it, you make the sale or send out the contract, and then you execute whatever service that was. Okay. We're assuming this is a service related business, not a product one. Nonetheless, this is information. Okay. Now, what happens after that? Well, what can often happen is you can start feeling really stressed, right? Because that project is over. Service is completed, the contract is wrapped up. Okay, what's going to happen next? You can hope that they renew for another one. Maybe get nervous about whether or not you should ask if they want to renew or if they're interested in signing up for the same thing or potentially cross-sell another package. Well, if you really liked this, maybe you would also like this other thing, right? But that's just potentially something they could be interested in. So let's say you stop stressing. You're like, okay, forget it. I'm not going to ask about the renewal. I'm just going to move on to the next client. Fantastic. Well, eventually, once you move on to enough clients, there's not going to be other ones left, right? So you continue creating content and you share it via email and via social media, and you do all the videos and the blogs and the vlogs and all the things, right? To start the entire process over of trying to get new leads in the door. And maybe you start to stress even more about whether or not you're going to actually hit your goals, right? Because you just wrapped up this thing. It was very intensive. You had the money in the door. It walked away. You got nervous about asking about the renewal or didn't know if even it was the right thing to do, right? It's not always the right fit for every business. Sometimes it is just a one-off. So where's that next lead come from? Traditional marketing is likened to hunting, right? You're going out, you've got a goal, take down the goal, okay, move on, right? In this case, they were quail hunting. Well, once that quail is dead, you can't shoot it again. It will still be dead, okay? So traditional marketing is more like hunting, right? It is faster, there is a turnover for it, but it is also consistent. Once one is done, you got to move on to the next one. Now let's talk about how relationship marketing is different. Look at this. This is actually the same sales cycle, right? A lead comes in, you qualify it, you make the sale, close the contract, execute the service, okay? But then what happens next in relationship marketing? Well, in this case, you approach things a little bit differently. Immediately after the sale is done, you send a post-service gift or something with, here's the kicker, handwritten note. Yes, get yourself some branded stationery too. It makes a difference. But nonetheless, what you're doing is you're taking an extra personal step in order to reaffirm why you liked working with that person, and really give the extra customer service touch. Okay. What this is going to do is then turn around and you will, natural human inclination, assuming this person you worked with was a good person, right? Not kind of a jerk. They're going to say, thank you. I received your note. I received the gift. That was so wonderful. Your opportunity to be like, fantastic. I really did love working with you on this. It was such a great process. And then offer them something else. Not a sale, mind you, okay? But offer them something else that could be beneficial, right? Like, okay, next time we do something like this, I think this would really work. Or something else I've been thinking about since our project, contract, and wrapped up was. What you want to do is offer additional insights and advice that they will find just purely beneficial, okay? Depending on the type of business you have, you can also drop in an opportunity for a cross-sale, offer of something else that you have, right? So let's use my business example. I finished up a website, right? It looks amazing. Well, they don't need me to redo and create a whole nother website. But what they might need is assistance with their email marketing, right? In order to drive people to that website. Or they may want an ongoing maintenance package. Channing, I write the blogs, I send them to you. Can you update them, add in the photos, and send out an email for it? Sure, right? There's other opportunities that are there. Getting it something done. It's website's not a one and done. It's done, We don't need to keep redesigning and developing it, but you do need to keep creating new content. Okay. So look for what those cross-sell opportunities could be. And there's a chance to kind of float those in there. The next thing you're going to do is take that person's email address and add it to your educational nurture list. What does this mean? This means that they are going to be getting content from you that is purely educational. There are no sales. There are no direct asks for money, right? There is no special offers here. It's just purely exclusive. You want information, I'm going to give you all the free things, right? Anything that is free, any insights that I have, any research I come across, anything that is like, oh, this person would really appreciate it. You add them to that email list, okay? Because it's a way to keep staying in touch with them and stay in top of mind and in their inbox. You're also going to set a reminder on your calendar, and you're going to follow up 1 to 2 months later just to check in and see how are they doing, right? During the time you were working together, you had conversations, right? Because, people work with people. So what did you talk about? Did their kid break their leg? And how is it healing now, right? Did they have a big race that they were training for? Okay, how'd you do? What was the whole process like? Like, what's going on with the new puppy? You want to find out those little things that show, number one, you paid attention when they were talking to you. Number two, you want to see if the work that you did together had residual effects later, right? And it's a genuine one-on-one email, just personalized to them. How are things going? Okay. Yes, as I mentioned, here we go. You want to ask about that personal detail because it really does show you were paying attention to them, and it makes it more positive. Then throughout the time after the contract is closed, if there's not that immediate upsell opportunity or renewal opportunity, continue to engage with them on social media, right? In the most genuine way possible. Don't be pushy. Don't comment on every single thing, but like some things, comment on another, laugh at it, send them something. I actually have a client that I discovered, he really loves puppies and he really loves puppy videos. Not what I would have expected based on this gentleman as I know him, but nonetheless, he loves these things. So I was like, okay. So now every time I scroll through Instagram and I see a ridiculous puppy video, has nothing to do with our work or what I have worked with him in any capacity on, but I send the really funny puppy video because it's nurturing that relationship and it takes like 2 seconds. And I just know that like he's going to laugh at it, and people can tie you to laughter. Still a really positive thing. Okay. Now you may be asking the question, well, that all sounds really nice and I'm going to have a whole lot of friends, but what about sales? Like, where's the money? I need money to keep my business afloat. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. So in relationship marketing, you're going to continue this similar process, but you're going to do it with people who you haven't worked with in a while. So I want you to go to your email service provider and export a list of clients that you have not worked with in the past 6 months or more. Okay. People that have not had a closed deal, that do not have a finished product in the past 6 months. If you're using a CRM, it should be possible for you to see who did not hit closed won 6 months, within the last 6 months, or go to your accounting system if that's another option for you and see who has not been invoiced anything in the past 6 months and export that list. This is your target list, right? Then you're going to create an email template. Hold on with me here, okay? We're not going to be doing a mass email. But you want to create an email template that includes a couple of things. A simple intro, and then here's a couple of links to recent resources that you've created, right? Because we are assuming that like there's still content marketing happening somewhere, right? Or there's articles you read somewhere, or again, a funny Instagram that you want to share, whatever it is. Things that are going to help tie you to them, okay? As well as a call to action for an invite for a date, something. Phone date, coffee date, Zoom catch up, wine night, whatever, right? Hey, great to see you. Hope things are going well. I recently created a couple of these things I thought you might find beneficial. Would really love to catch up over wine. Do you have time on? And give 2 to 3 options. Okay. You don't want to give too many, but you also want to do it within the next 2 weeks of when you're sending this email. All right. With that template though, you then take it and you send 1-to-1 emails directly from me to you, not from me to you through HubSpot and all the people, okay? What you want to do is send the one-on-one email, right? And you're going to tailor that first intro paragraph to that person. It's not going to take that much longer. Okay. It's 1, maybe 2 sentences in that paragraph, checking in, making some joke, referencing that personal detail, use the rest of your template that's there, and set some things up. Okay. Your goal with this is to set up 3 dates / catch up in a week. That's it. You just have to have 3 meetings per week. All the rest of your time in your week can be put towards working in your business or working on your business in other ways. But if you can't work on it in any other way, just try to get 3 individual meetings. You can be in the business the rest of the week. Your marketing will still move forward. Okay, yay. Someone writes back and they're like, yes, let's do wine next Wednesday. Fantastic. My favorite. Okay, now what happens? When you get on the date, the first thing you do is discuss life. In particular, their life. Your life will come into play. Maybe you have something exciting that happens, right? I just ran a half marathon, placed high in my age group. Fantastic. Not the way I lead the conversation, because the conversation in this case, when I'm the one who's doing the asking, is not about me. The conversation is about the person that I'm meeting with. So you want to discuss their life first. Catch up. Remember, you worked with this person. They're a human. Humans and like to deal with other humans. People get along with people, right? So remember, they're not just a big old dollar sign on their face. They're a person. So you want to discuss that. Okay. This is the goal, right? You want to make sure you're reestablishing that connection, because this coffee date or wine date or phone date, whatever it is, you haven't worked with them in more than 6 months. So you may not have talked to them, right? They could have been a client from 2019. Great. Catch up and find out what is going on in their life. Because it may turn out that something they drop in about their business has totally changed, in which case they're not relevant for you to work with them anymore. You don't have an offer that's actually going to serve them. Okay, fine. Maybe they tell you some new exciting thing that they did create in the past 2 years, and now you're like, oh my gosh, I have so many more ideas than I thought. You can then pivot your end of the business conversation later. Once you've gotten the life stuff out of the way and you feel like you're caught up, if they offer a lot of business, you just keep on rolling through, right? Jump on that train and ride it to the station. If they don't mention business, ask, how are things going since the last time we talked? Like, are you still at the same job? Or how has your business changed? Or easiest question ever, how have things been going since the pandemic, right? That has totally turned our world upside down. Everybody's answer to that is different, okay? We may be all in the same storm, but we are not in the same boat, right? Everyone's experience with this pandemic has really been different. It has been incredibly terrible and very heartbreaking for some people, and it has been a windfall of cash for other businesses. It really varies. Always ask the question. And again, their business first, right? Always put it on them first. Natural human tendency has them turn things around. If they don't, then you can offer it up, right? As I asked here, if you're in the event industry, you want to use this as your chance to ask, what is their take on events, right? If you're not in the event industry, quite frankly, events have affected all the rest of our lives. What have they been able to do? How has their social calendar changed? What are their thoughts on what is a safe way for races to come back, or festivals or trade shows, any other business related things, right? Because there are completely different opinions. There's a lot of different opinions within the event industry, and there's a lot outside of it. But we all benefit from conferences and from meetings, and there's the hybrid approach, there's fully in person. Lots of ways to talk about this and see how it directly connects to their business and how they're also bringing in more business. And then, of course, you can offer your own perspective on this as well, right? It's your chance there. But in general, you want to start by trying to get them talking, okay? Because what this does is also opens up the opportunity, let me move myself out of the way here, to talk about what you're doing now, right? Because they can be going on and on and on. I've been doing this. That's great. Wait a minute. What have you been doing? Like, how are things for you? Because again, you're wanting to catch up on a personal level. They want to also, therefore, reciprocate, right? This is just how humans interact. It's a wonderful thing. If they don't, it could be kind of crazy, but it's possible. Take the opportunity to volunteer, right? We're talking about post-pandemic world. You know what? Here are some things that I have been learning from talking to my clients, or within my friend group, or from my church group, whatever it is. Just bring up your own experiences with that and offer the professional development you have had in the past 6, 18, 24 months. What that does is creates the next sale opportunity. Because as you talk about the newer things that you're offering or how things have changed, because I am, of course, giving you biggest benefit of the doubt, right? That like things have changed in your business in the past 6 months plus. They may not know that, right? Because our biggest thing is people don't always know everything we're doing if we don't tell them. And even if we send out the emails and we post it on social, a lot of people still miss it because, yeah, we're pretty selfish beings. We have a lot going on inside our own lives, right? So this is that opportunity to kind of see what's there. Maybe they learn about something that they hadn't thought about how you could help them because they have a new business venture or something in their life has changed, right? This is your opportunity to showcase the ways you want to work with them again, as well as just other people in case they could provide referrals. Above all, with every single part of this conversation, though, even the opportunities to present the new ways to work together and your sale offers here, the whole point of this meeting is to be of service to them, not to sell them. Okay? You want to provide information. You want to provide resources. You want to provide insight, and you want to get to know them again, right? Something has changed. Something in their life, I guarantee, has changed. They do not just sit at home and watch Outlander all by themselves. Love me some Outlander. But they do more things in life, right? So that's what you want to tap into. And if you were there to genuinely show interest in them and in their business and in their life and be of service and help them in some way, that is how you develop the deeper relationships that lead to ongoing lifelong sales. So where traditional marketing was hunting, relationship marketing is farming. Get on your tractor and sow those soils. I was going to say oats, but I feel like that's not right. So the oats, right? You plant things, you don't immediately see the return on that. But what you do is you keep working the land and it gets bigger and bigger and the crops come and they may take a little time, but they always come, right? If you plant things in the ground and you water it and you wait, twiddle your thumbs. Okay. Is it going to pop out of the ground immediately? No. Is it going to pop out of the ground? Yes. So if you put the time, the investment, not even that much time, to be honest, just a little bit of effort into the relationship parts of the people that you work with and continuing to nourish those relationships and be of service to them, it is going to bear fruit, right? It always does. And the beautiful thing is, depending on how much you put into it, also depends on how big the bounty can be, right? There's so much potential. So let's compare these two approaches, hunting and farming, i.e. traditional versus relationship marketing. Hunting is faster, for sure. You get to offer a sale, you send an email, you make a post, you're like, hey, buy this, this is the right thing. Boom. You close that sale, right? You're mostly focused on new business. Not always, but most of the time you're focused on new business and new contracts. This does require content marketing on the regular because you need to have constant information going out so that you can get the inbound leads. I'm not saying you have to be constant calls to action, but again, we still want to be of service, right? People want to work with people who are looking for those that genuinely care about them and are not just after the money. So when it comes to creating the content marketing, you need to do it, but you need to be doing it on a regular basis to demonstrate why you're an expert in your field. You will most likely have a higher number of clients because if you have a one-off service like wedding planners, right? Wedding planners, if all you do is wedding, that is wonderful. And that is a perfectly fine way to have a business. Beautiful part, even if it wasn't a fine way to have business, it's your business. So it is your choice, right? You don't have to do anything else but weddings. That does mean that you are going to have clients one time, right? Because God willing, they're not getting married more than once. If they do, of course, maybe you get a repeat. But that's not really the goal. So you're going to have a higher number of clients because that's the way that you're designing the business. Totally works. You also need to be super focused on growing your business and always coming up with new ideas. Okay. So one of the things that's really big with the hunting approach is that you have to have the time and the focus and the dedication to working on the business and not just in it. Okay. Farming, on the other hand, it's a little bit slower. right? Because you're going to have these 3 coffee meetings or 3 catch up whatevers a week, but you're not selling on that call. So it's not like you're sending out 3 proposals per week. It's not like you're selling 3 of those contracts per week. It's having 3 things. Eventually they will start to bear fruit. In this case, though, you are focused on repeat business. Beauty of that is the fact that in order for people to buy from you, they need to know, like, and trust you. Well, these people already bought from you. So those 3 things knocked them out of the park already. So the focus there, right, is to just go back and keep nurturing them. It does require some content marketing. As I mentioned earlier in that email template, you need to have 1 or 2 items that you can send them. It would be great to engage on their social media, right, which is their content, but it's still networking through there. You may have a fewer number of clients overall, but their dollar value over a lifetime is going to be higher, right? So with hunting, you could have stockpile amount of cash because it's a really big project or really big service. And then once they're done, maybe that's it. Farming, with some clients, you could have a little bit of cash, but then they're going to keep renewing. And so those little bits are going to be smaller bites, but in the end, they could end up a lot higher. Farming requires a shit ton of patience. There's just no way around it, right? If you get anxious about sales and about closing the next dollar amount and hitting those specific goals, and oh my gosh, where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from? An anxious personality like that, one I understand and identify with, is not going to serve you as well with a farming approach. This is a wonderful opportunity for personal development though, right? Because while there are places in my life, Lord knows, I get anxious and I get worried about things. My business is actually not one of them. I never worry about hitting sales because I know that what I'm offering is valuable to people, right? And I know that I may not work with everybody, but the people I do work with are going to love me and I'm going to kill it because I care that much and because I get to know my clients on a one-on-one basis, right? I want to actually have that relationship. That has led to a supreme more amount of patience, okay? But it does require it. The important thing to note across all of this is that both of these approaches require a time investment. It's just a matter of which one you should be doing at a given time in your business. All right, let's make that even clearer. At a given time in your business. So while we are comparing the 2 of these today, we're not saying that one is better than the other. I'm not saying that you should only do one and not the other. You need both, right? This is a tandem approach to long-term business success, is understanding the concept of traditional marketing and relationship. Because there will be periods in your business where, especially if you're a small business or a solopreneur, which of course is who I work with, there will be times in your business when life gets in the way and you've got a lot of ideas, but creating the video or writing the blog content or anything else is just, your mind is not there, right? You just can't sit down to do it. You're moving a mile a minute. What you can do when you're moving a mile a minute is have a phone call while you're in the car shuttling kids from one spot to another. While you're running errands, you can have another phone call with somebody else to catch up. Relationship marketing elements are very possible to do when you are overwhelmed or when you have a lot of other things on your plate, because you're always in transit somewhere, which means you can be on a phone and have a phone call. Okay, those phone calls can pay off. It also can give you an opportunity to step away from the house and actually go out and meet people, right? And be in a physical environment with other adults who are interested in business, get your creative juices flowing. Another time it could be beneficial to focus on the farming versus the hunting is when you're in a complete creative dry spell. Sometimes, you know what? It just doesn't come to you. You could be in a downpour one time, being like, oh my God, I've got all the ideas. I need to get them out of my head right now. That is the best feeling ever. And then you could go for days or weeks, speaking from experience, at a time, and you cannot put things together to save your life. You're like, I know I have ideas. I know I have things to say. I cannot articulate them in a way that other people are going to understand. Or I have a vision in my head, but these graphics are just not coming together, right? It's not selling the concept I'm trying to. Fine. Put a pause on the traditional marketing, step away from it, pick up the phone and call somebody. Send out an email to 10 people, try and book 3 meetings out of that, right? pretty low success rate there, but that's all it takes, right? Take that template email and be like, all right, I can't create this. I can write a simple email. I can send it out to 10 different people, and let's see if I can get some calls on the books. Because the best case scenario out of each one of those little dates catch-ups is that you have an opportunity to present a new service and someone's like, oh my gosh, yes, I need that. I had no idea you were doing that now. Or, that's exactly what I need. I knew I needed something, but I didn't know what until talking to you. Or they know more about you and can refer you to someone else that they've been talking to recently. And the absolute worst case scenario is that you've continued to develop a relationship with the person you actually like. Not a too shabby worst case scenario, right? Exactly. Those are the thoughts. That is the difference between hunting and farming. All right. And you use both. It's just a matter of, depending on the overall life cycle of your business, which one is going to be more apropos for you at that time. Questions? Drop them in comments, email me, channing@dcmcommunications.com.